Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents How to Change Toxic Relationships by Savannah Smoke, MSH, RMT. Narrated by Felicia Robbins. Publisher's Note. In this audio edition, you will hear references to visual materials present in the print and ebook formats of the book. Introduction. Shouldn't someone give us a roadmap to personality disorders when we are born? Of all the things we learn, some of the most crucial, beneficial information is completely missed. We are here haphazardly building ourselves through this journey called life. As we grow into adults, we find ourselves locked into toxic situations and relationships that become painful aspects of our lives. They do not educate us on how to handle these challenging and hurtful people or encounters. Right now, we are in a fascinating time of soul healing and enlightenment. All along, different toxic personalities have been designed to teach us our inner wounds and unhealed parts. Yet I never knew. No one let me in on the secret. Once I got educated, I started to understand exactly what was going on. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, I began to sharpen my wits. I started training, healing, and growing through, dun dun dun, the narcissists on Battlefield Earth. I am eternally grateful. You will be too. Through the course of this book, I will unravel the science and spiritual purpose of these relationships. You will know how to catapult over all their nonsense with ease and grace. No one has taught us these principles. We have been operating blind with these personalities, and now it's time to turn the tables. Take control and beat the narcissists, toxic, controlling, and manipulative personalities at their own game, not by joining them in their tactics, but by healing, growing, and evolving into the person you are destined to become. If you are a target to their techniques, there are elements of you that attracted the relationship. You just need to open your eyes in new ways and do the inner soul work to stop stepping in their trap. Oh, the beauty when you see your experiences with them in a new light. The blinders you've been looking through fall off. All the systems of suffering they set up for you become blazingly obvious. Not only that, but you understand their purpose. You are no longer confused by their crazy-making behaviors. As you listen and apply the knowledge in these chapters, you will learn the specific tools, techniques, and elements to break through the barriers. You will have a new inner strength and sense of power, knowing you can deal with these personalities effortlessly. You are no longer their pinball, being looped into their nonsense, emotionally crushed, mentally brainwashed, or physically drained. The days of being a victim because they appealed to your compassionate heart are over. All your weaknesses, naive perspective, and gullible ways you have turned around. The mystery of why these personalities keep coming into your life is completely unraveled. You realize if you are a victim to narcissists, you attracted them by being a match. This is where we level up and get accountable. Our souls line up, and these invisible magnetic charges bind us together. You have the exact opposite charge or unhealthy and out of balance opposing quality. Only by healing that inner wound and balancing our dysfunctions can we stop playing our role in the relationship. Both parties become a mirror to inner imbalances. Naive/gullible attracts liar/manipulator. Non-confrontational attracts confrontational. Insecure/self-doubt attracts overconfident/egomaniac. Overly sensitive attracts insensitive. Cannot receive attracts cannot give. No personal boundaries attracts oversteps your boundaries. Accepts all blame attracts can't be responsible for blame. This book will teach you exactly how to stand rock solid, completely peel away all narcissistic supply, and balance your internal scales. Imagine how you will feel when confronting the narcissist as a healthy, whole, and educated version of you. All the tactics, techniques, and tools they used, and why you fell for them, become obvious. You no longer fit in as their victim. We will dive deep into these techniques. You will hear how to unravel your own weaknesses and unhealed traumas. Your soul wounds created the need for them in your life. The personality characteristics work together like gears on a clock. Suffering ticking away, time is moving, yet standing still. Now you have all the answers to transform, heal, and evolve. For example, gaslighting. The universe has a consequence for those not fully present in the moment. Now you have decided to start paying attention and taking notes. You don't let the twisted illusion of the narcissist disillusion you. They used to win at this head game because they would lie and manipulate situations, people, and events to convince you they are right. Before, you questioned and doubted yourself, but now you are interviewing and challenging them. You know their twisted reality and don't fall into their trap. Those situations that used to leave you confused and frazzled become opportunities to have your opinion be voiced. The daydreaming, non-confrontational, insecure, and overly sensitive part of you is no longer running your show. Spiritual growth. Believing, trusting, and standing up for your gut feeling and intuition. Becoming present in reality rather than daydreaming and floating through life. Self-trust rather than self-skepticism. If you want a deeper look into this concept, you can find my YouTube video explanation by visiting this link. youtube.com/watch $v equals 68 uppercase DL 1 lowercase SMDBN uppercase E ampersand lowercase t equals 4 lowercase s. Smear campaigns. The grand actor is up to their tricks and is using others against you. They have portrayed themselves as the innocent victim. You are the abuser, toxic person, and dysfunctional part of the relationship. This can be so challenging when you know lies have been twisted against you. Before, this would have frustrated you to no end. Now, you realize you have to know who you are, what you stand for, and your principles to gain inner strength. No matter what anyone else thinks or who falls prey to their charms and manipulations, you know who you are and the truth. You are using the experience to gain inner solidity and be unwavered by others' opinions. Spiritual growth. Insecure to the views and criticisms of others, become secure and confident despite how others see you. There is no other way to develop this without these personality types smearing your name, twisting lies against you, and manipulating situations to make others have false opinions. These are just a few brief examples where we take all the information we have learned and apply our new healed, authentic self into our life. That's the ticket to reflecting a new reality. All the tactics and techniques we previously saw as toxic facilitate our growth. We are so grateful to them for their placement on our path. Coming from a background of attracting toxic people has taught me so many things. The biggest realization has been the fact they were mirroring where I was toxic to myself. None of it was actually about them. Working on myself, I've become stronger than I imagined. I have fought wars with these crazy-making personalities and remained calm. I can call out every tactic in my mind that's being used against me and how to combat them. Not later, but at the moment. No one manipulates me or my emotions anymore. I am finally in love with my life and who I am, rather than spending countless hours running victim stories in my head or trying to make sense of their behaviors. You can do it too. In this book, I'm handing you the keys. You must put them in the ignition and drive. My struggles, pain, and dysfunctional, unhealthy cycles have become the force of passion to help others heal, evolve, and move out of these toxic relationships. Trust me, they are not going anywhere, just continuing to create your suffering until you learn what they are designed to teach you. You might have already noticed this. Have you ever seen someone leave one toxic relationship to sign up with another carbon copy personality? Or you realize that you are in a toxic relationship, but cannot figure out why you can't let them go? Am I addicted to this dysfunctional mess? It's so frazzling seeing these repeated patterns and toxic attractions, but not knowing how to get out. These personality types and situations keep coming back to us over and over for specific reasons. We are broken and must finally heal and evolve beyond them. Knowing exactly how, why, and what about us needs to take action, heal, develop, and do the inner work is crucial. If we turn a blind eye or walk away without working on us, the pattern continues. Once you do the inner work, exciting things happen. You interact with them unaffected by their tactics or manipulations. You no longer need to hide from the world or difficult personalities. You can be in any life situation or relationship and be the healthy version of yourself, unaffected by external forces. The world around you is a mirror, and the laws of attraction bind us all together. You can't attract someone who unconditionally loves you until you unconditionally love yourself. If you can't make yourself a priority, you won't attract people who do. If you haven't learned to support yourself, you can't attract those who support you. This list could go on and on. In fact, maybe you should make one. Use how people treat you as a guide to see the hidden inner world you have with yourself. If there is suffering in the outside world, it's coming from an inner imbalance. Using the toxic people in the outside to balance our internal scales, dysfunctions, and heal our inner wounds is a priceless gift. We have to get clear on all the elements. What are their personality traits? What are mine? How do they work together? What is happening mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually in our interactions with one another? Absolutely the best investment you can make is in yourself. Learning, studying, and using the relationships to get stronger, heal our wounded parts, and step over the spiritual hurdles in life completely changes everything. Take the journey with me and learn all the techniques, principles, tools, and self-healing elements needed to ignite that inner god/goddess warrior that has been waiting to wake up inside you. The information you are about to unveil you won't find in any other books on the market. That's why I committed myself to write what you're about to hear. There are so many people suffering with no idea of how, why, or what to learn from it. They find they leave one partner, taking the prescribed no-contact advice, to recreate the next narcissistic relationship with the same issues, just a new person. Or they remain locked into the partnership, unable to leave, but need to learn how to handle the toxic person for their own sanity. Why are they like this, and what do I do? Within these chapters are the missing keys. The more people who can assimilate, use these tools, pass them along, and truly heal, the faster we can move into the age of enlightenment. Chapter 1. Welcome to the Jungle. When the term narcissist and toxic people crossed my path, the light bulb definitely turned on. My jaw dropped over and over as I began to research. Connecting the dots to manipulative and controlling people in my life floored me. Gah! I've been so naive and gullible. All this new and pertinent information would have been useful to know, like at birth. Not 2 marriages and 3 children deep into the deal. Why hadn't it occurred to me? There are people who I thought were my friends that are intentionally hurting me and others for their own advantage. Maybe you felt that same way too. This thought of people operating as narcissists with all their techniques and tactics is like learning a foreign language. I'm not talking about the obvious evil people that are raping, stealing, and murdering. They are easy to spot. We wouldn't get tangled up with them. This layer of personality appears to be genuinely interested in you, kind and helpful. The deceptions aren't easy to see. They are skilled at the tango of looking to be a fantastic person while they use, abuse, and sabotage everything. Even in researching the topic and connecting all the dots, I just didn't want to believe it. My whole life I had made excuses for why seemingly good people had moments of being bad people. I would blame it on several things. Childhood trauma, they had a bad day, or someone hurt them. Who wouldn't have issues from this screwed-up world we live in? You know the saying, hurt people hurt people. If we could fix, heal, and save everyone, this messy nightmare would end. I realized that I was living in a fairy tale illusion, refusing to see the truth, exactly what the experts said about the narcissist. I was such a huge advocate of making the best of everyone and turning the other cheek. Yet that just led to me being a doormat, allowing others to walk all over me while I made excuses for them. Isn't that what we've been told we should do here as a good person? Forgive others for their imperfections and hope they do the same for us. Unconditional love. Some horrific things are going on. How can I justify them? How can I not get wound up and passionate about so many offenses happening in this world? Not just with the narcissists in my life, but on a huge global level. Honestly, before all of this inner awakening happened, I never realized there was a purpose to this madness. I just felt lost here. If there is a God, what is he doing, letting people run around destroying everything? What's the real reason I'm alive? I was coasting along in life, surviving, but in a miserable, painful place. Waiting for the deadline, death, which seemed like the only escape. I could see no way out of suffering. I was spinning my wheels one day leading into the next. At the core of my soul, I felt desperately alone, miserable, and shattered. That's precisely where I was when things started to unravel. So many epiphany moments happened. This began the wheels of change and a grand awakening in my life. Everything fell into place to open my eyes. I realized I am not a spirit walking through earth, trying to make it through enough tomorrows to see if I get access to the pearly white gates of heaven. I am a spiritual being, full of these energetic connections, wounded parts, dysfunctional patterns, spiritual imbalances, and karmic ties. It was a massive revelation to me that time was standing still in some ways. My repeat patterns became obvious. You will see yours too, or maybe you already have. You just don't know what to do about them. After reading all the books, blogs, and resources on toxic people, you've seen no real results. You are more educated. That's an important step. You have a new fancy vocabulary for their techniques. Gaslighting, triangulating, love bombing, discard, devalue, smear campaigns, and a whole list of explanations for narcissistic behavior patterns. This is helpful to know, but it doesn't get you out of the wheel of suffering. You are still locked into the crazy makers. Maybe you missed the same big memo I did when you were growing up. You are in a physical body, attracting certain people and situations, just like a magnet, to teach you the spaces you have yet to heal. This idea, what we put out in the world comes back to us, is simply not true. Be nice to others, they will be nice to you. Help people, and when you need help, the favor will return. Well then, when is that going to show up? I just keep attracting toxic people and narcissists. Newsflash, it's never going to show up. Karma is not what we have been led to believe, just like most of the information we receive. If you realize this already, you may be interested in my YouTube channel, Truth Bomber TV, or visit this link, youtube.com/channel/UCU, lowercase m, uppercase mx, lowercase x, uppercase I, lowercase g, uppercase up, lowercase vm, uppercase yt, 0, lowercase ml, uppercase L, lowercase s, 3, lowercase il, uppercase A, question mark. You are in Battlefield Earth, the ultimate jungle. Have you watched the movie made by Disney, The Jungle Book? Here's Mowgli meeting these characters, the smooth-talking ape, slithery python, fearsome tiger, free-spirited bear, and he has to navigate. In that journey, he learns all kinds of life lessons. If every single experience had not happened exactly how it did, he could never have grown and evolved. That required a lot of different personalities to provide those experiences. Why not learn what this jungle we call Earth can teach you? You can do the inner work to heal and transcend. In fact, it's the only way out of the wheel of suffering. You have to re-educate yourself on a lot of new concepts. This solves a lot of unanswered questions, plus gives you the keys to take back your life. Maybe you're in a tight corner trapped with this personality. Perhaps you have children with a narcissist, controlling or manipulative spouse, and you don't want to tear your family apart. Maybe you're in a great position at your company, but have specific people you don't know how to deal with. What if your child is a narcissist? You cannot leave them. We don't intentionally end up in abusive relationships, that's for sure. These triangles where we can't escape are necessary. We corner ourselves in these relationships on purpose. If we could easily disconnect from them and walk away, we wouldn't learn what they are designed to teach us. That's how we get entangled, as our energies lock us into one another. As much as we may want to hate them, they have a divine spiritual purpose in our lives. I know it seems like such a stretch to think someone so capable of deeply inflicting pain has an actual role to play in your development, but it is the truth. If you do not deal with the shattered parts of you that attracted this relationship, guess what happens when you go no contact? The next narcissist steps up to the plate to work out whatever is unresolved inside you. That's why most people leave one abusive relationship to sign up with the next person, who is almost exactly like the ex that they left. I know this is true. I have done it, and watched others do it too. Or maybe they lacked compassion for someone who was in a narcissistic triangle. They made judgments that created karma. We will get to the heart of karma and its true meaning soon. I should clarify, if you are dealing with a physically abusive person, you need to leave. You can't stand up for yourself when it will lead to bruises and broken bones. If you don't have secure connections with supportive people, there are so many safe houses you can contact. I do still recommend listening to the book. You still need healing from emotional, mental, and spiritual abuse, which is the focus. Speaking from experience, I can tell you that if you make a stand and leave someone physically abusive, you set the standard within your own being. I am worthy of a relationship and will make clear-cut decisions to walk away from partners that physically hurt me. Whatever other issues you have not resolved will come up in a new partner. They will not physically hurt you, but emotional abuse is just as damaging. The wounds just don't show up on the outside body like physical abuse does. Making a stand to honor and love yourself enough to not be physically abused is critical to our health and well-being. Lots of people who are in these types of relationships often do not understand why they stay, but they do. This book will clarify and answer those questions for you. Let's face it, sometimes we do things we know don't make sense. Other people can't understand why we just don't leave, and that can be even more isolating. Exactly what we don't need. My first husband was physically abusive. I did leave. I did go back. I left again, and the cycle went on. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to have things be the fairy tale. I didn't understand how I could love him, but I really thought I did. If you are in that same position, wanting to leave but you stay, I understand. I love and support you. I am lucky I had a great family, a safe haven. Even in that, I broke away to just go back to him many times. The final split-up was gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. If I had understood these concepts and truly healed, I would have saved myself covert narcissist husband number 2. What I found interesting in my research is emotional and physical abuse run the same response pattern in our brain. If you are dealing with a covert narcissist, no one knows what is going on behind closed doors. The relationship may even look perfect to outsiders. The tactics and interplays between the gaslighting, idolizing, head games, lies, and manipulations are not easy to see, read, or understand. What is happening to me? Out of both marriages, for me personally, the covert narcissist is the most dangerous. Now I understand how relentless the universe must be in bringing back our inner trauma. Knowing and seeing the red flags is not enough. Rehashing their qualities does nothing but increase the idea we are powerless victims. The mentality it's us versus them divides us from the potent messages they send. These are the most important factors we have to recognize. The narcissist is the messenger to where the healing must be done. Seeing my trauma and tackling my issues has been my only saving grace. I'm not making health claims here, just sharing my story and experiences. That does not mean this will be your experience. It is just letting you see into my journey. My health has significantly improved since I started healing mentally and emotionally through the relationship dynamics. I know that probably doesn't make sense right now, because so many counselors talk about going no contact or walking away from the relationship. My approach is revolutionary, as it uses the relationship as a roadmap to see where you need to heal. To make a long story short, by the age of 25, I had my first experience with going into anaphylactic shock. In case you don't know what that is, it's an extreme allergic reaction where you have difficulty breathing, hives, and overall, the worst icky feeling ever. It was right around the time I started dating my second husband. I had always struggled with some allergies, but they had gotten progressively worse. At this time, I was still prescribing to the American healthcare system. I was given a shot of epinephrine and a prescription for a steroid. I could only be on it 10 days, or it would mess up my hormones. My skin rashes cleared up, and I felt amazing during those wonderful days. It turned everything around for a small window of time. This didn't last, though, and I found myself living on Benadryl. They did tests, lots of them. Why and what is creating these allergic reactions? Time rolled on, and I went through the mysterious world of unexplainable health issues. The suffering is what sent me looking for alternatives. Modern medicine had let me down. I went through 2 more pregnancies, and this took another toll on the body. Plus, the love bomber had been putting me through the confusing world of a covert narcissist. The phases of discard and devalue got longer, while the love bombing showed up less and less. At this time, I was clueless that any health issues may have anything to do with the narcissist. In fact, I had no idea what one was or what tactics were being used. I didn't feel good, but didn't know why. Being sick with a host of things meant rounds of antibiotics wrecked my entire gastrointestinal tract. I started to study, learn, and understand that the American diet was designed to foster sickness and went to natural alternatives. These switches in my diet helped, but it was not the cure-all I was hoping would happen. That's when I started having experiences with feeling energy and consciousness. A whole new world opened up to me. Then the term narcissist fell into my lap, and a healer named Melanie Tanya Evans. Her blog posts and YouTube videos were a godsend. I started piecing everything together. The experiences with feeling energetic shutdowns while being triggered into my trauma by my husband made the circle complete. I thank God/Creator/Source every day for opening me up to these experiences. Once I Googled health issues and the narcissist, I realized other people were talking about these same things. Yet no one had step-by-step instructions on exactly what we needed to learn, heal, and evolve. The direct correlations between the physical, mental, emotional, and energetic/spiritual body were ambiguous. Go no contact. Run as fast as you can. In my heart and soul, I knew that wasn't the answer. I started to look at my covert narcissist in new ways, more like a personal trainer. I knew that when he ran over me with the gaslighting, blanket generalizations, and other crazy-making behaviors, my energy shut down. But if I stood up for myself, voiced my opinion, and stood my ground, my energy opened up in beautiful ways. A set of spiritual tests became apparent that only he, as my soulmate, could supply. Finally, I was connecting the dots, and my health was showing up for me. Not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, and mental health. Now.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?